Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down the upcoming NFL playoff matchup this weekend between the Colts and the Chiefs, scheduled for Saturday, January 12th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and this could be a really exciting game. This may be, personally, the game that I'm really looking forward to the most this weekend. The odds makers expect a lot of points scored. I expect a lot of points scored. Both these teams and their offenses are going to have the opportunity to score the ball and score the ball a lot. Could be very exciting. And the Colts are coming in hot. They're coming off a playoff win. They're still very underrated. A lot of people don't give the Colts a lot of chance in the playoffs, but they really should. They've been playing great as of late. The defense, led by Darius Leonard, is definitely something to contend with. Kansas City, second half of the year, kind of struggled at times, right? Yes, injuries were a part of it. They lost games those second half of the year against playoff teams. The Chargers, the Rams, the Seahawks all gave the Kansas City Chiefs problem their second half of the year. But now they're coming off of a bye week, and any team coming off a bye week is going to have somewhat of an advantage. They've had an extra week to prepare for this game, and I expect Andy Reid to have these guys ready to play. Now, it does sound like I mentioned that injuries were an issue here second half of the season for the Chiefs, but it sounds like they could be a little bit healthier here going into the playoffs. Sounds like Spencer Ware will be back. Who cares? Sammy Watkins may be available. Who cares? But the thing that I care about with Sammy Watkins is if he can be close to 100%, if nothing else, he could pull a little bit of that defensive attention away from Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and hopefully open up more opportunities for those big playmakers. As far as Spencer Ware goes, I still think Damian Williams is the more explosive back in this offense, and I look for him to be more of a game breaker than really Spencer Ware. He may come in on third downs at time. He may spell him at time, give him a little bit of rest. Not somebody I'm really overly concerned about, though, if I'm on the Colts side of the football. Now, the defense for the Colts has been something that's been very, very underrated, right? Almost all year. They're led by rookie linebacker Darius Leonard, first-team All-Pro. Right now, they've only allowed 12.8 points over their last 4 games. Definitely a solid defense that's playing really well right now, absolutely. But the Colts have also been successful as of late because of their offensive line. I mean, this offensive line allowed the fewest sacks in all of football, and it's really benefited Marlon Mack, right? 3 out of the last 4 games, he's had over 119 yards. Definitely a solid running game in Indianapolis. It also helps that right now, the Kansas City run defense on the year ranked 27th. Out of 32, they were the 27th ranked defense against opposing running backs. Definitely a solid matchup and a perfect situation for the running game, which could lead to be very beneficial for the Colts if they can get a lead in this game. They could lean on the run a little bit more in the second half if they had to. If that clock's running and the Colts are getting first downs, it's keeping the ball out of the hands of Patrick Mahomes, which is vital because if he has it, he always has that ability to change the game in one play. Big playmakers like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey make that possible. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's easy to shut down Patrick Mahomes, right? It's almost impossible. But the guy plays with absolute crazy ability. I mean, you've seen it all over the big networks, the no-look passes, the deep balls, whatever it is. Patrick Mahomes had a great year, right? 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. I don't think anybody saw those type of numbers coming. And the Chiefs were 7-1 at home in Arrowhead this year. Definitely a tough place to play. But the corners for Indianapolis have been playing better. I mean, they limited DeAndre Hopkins last week. I'm not going to say shut him down, which they basically did, but they've been playing well. It goes back to this whole underrated storyline for the Colts. It seems like every point that you bring up for the Colts, it always leads back to, they're just kind of underrated. And at some point, the more wins they get, the farther they go in the playoffs, this underrated tag is going to start going away. And if they can win this weekend, it's the start of that because they are definitely playing great football. And Kansas City is going to have to make some adjustments, right? They're going to have to be creative. Tyreek Hill, I expect him to see more snaps out of the slot this week, trying to get him open, moving across the field, get him open in space, get him the ball, see if he can make a play, try to limit him, not limit him to a sideline on one side, try to get him the opportunity to make those big plays for them. Travis Kelsey is definitely somebody who I'm looking to have a huge game, but also Eric Ebron. Both of these teams struggle against opposing tight ends. For the season, the Colts were first and the Kansas City Chiefs were third as far as allowing receptions to tight ends. Definitely something to be on the lookout for. Personally, I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't think it's going to be an utter blowout like a lot of people may think. There are going to be a lot of points scored, and this could come down to something in the fourth quarter that's dependent, on one of the last possessions of the game. As much as I want the Colts to win this, I'm kind of rooting for the underdog. In my opinion, I do see the Kansas City Chiefs pulling out this victory at home in Arrowhead and advancing in the NFL playoffs. But it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. You should be too. It's definitely one of these playoff atmosphere style games. That crowd's going to be going crazy in Kansas City, and it's going to be really fun to watch. I don't know if you guys remember a few weeks ago, but that game between the Rams and the Chiefs before their bye week, it was really fun to watch. It may not be that much of an offensive explosion, but there's definitely going to be some fireworks, and I'm looking forward to catching them. Make sure you guys check out the other videos. I've done one of these breakdowns for all of the other matchups this weekend. Looking forward to watching some football this weekend. I'm sure you guys are too. Have a good rest of your week. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Thanks.